Hey guys, this is Maya from CRYPTOBAE.CAFE, and I just wanted to give you guys a Voyagers update. I did not forget to do it. It's just a lot going on, and I want to be consistent with everything I'm going over. So I do know a few people that have their funds stuck on Voyager. Um, Before I start this video, I just want to say, moving forward, this applies to every platform that doesn't have to wallet. Look, if you can't withdraw, it's a liability. So let's just start there. Like, you can't move your money out for whatever reason upon first access, liability. They don't have any form of insurance, liability. They have FDIC. Now you got to go check and see if FDIC actually exists. Just ask yourself this question: what benefit does it hold for you to deposit your crypto on this platform? And you need to be able to answer that question, like with numbers, like how much interest am I earning? Could I earn this interest in other ways by myself? Like, you have to rationalize your risk versus your reward. If you're risking your entire portfolio because it's on the platform versus a certain percentage of reward, in the case of Celsius and Voyager, some people have their whole portfolios gone or stuck in a bankruptcy proceeding because they were trying to get 10% yield. Now, when you compare your entire portfolio basket versus the yield you were promised, it doesn't look that interesting or enticing, does it? So, moving forward, any platform that offers that, ask yourself, why can't I take my crypto off? Why do you guys think you're in better hands of it? You guys don't have insurance. If it's insured, it goes into a bankruptcy proceeding. I have to wait for you guys to figure out your finances until I get back. There's no benefit to having your crypto on a platform that gives you yields that's centralized. I'm sorry, there's no benefit. And until each platform adopts some form of insurance, there will be no benefit. So, another platform that is going to bring out crypto is M1. Not saying they're a black platform at all. However, they actually use something where they give a weighted portfolio and it balances based upon what's going on in the market. But to me, there's a lot going in crypto. Bitcoin could trigger a 60% fall on Thursday and go up 110 in 2 weeks. You don't know. So to have a weighted profile that swaps crypto back and forth for you automatically, depending on the algorithm, I don't like it because sometimes I think some of those decisions that you need to make yourself. A lot of people who have played the long game were told to sell. A lot of people told to sell sell all your ETH 800. Look at where it's at. Sell all your BTC because it's dropping past 17. Look where it's at. So I don't think an algorithm can accumulate for human behavior when it comes to crypto. Because some of the things that happen in crypto are very unforeseen and very like, what is happening? So again, I don't think as much as an algorithm can notice these things and respond, I think it does take some human interaction and faith into like the balance of your portfolio. Um, and also, I think you should have just multiple bags, short term, long term. And again, in a weighted pool situation, I don't know if an algorithm can think, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it can, but can it make decisions? Okay, I'm about to do it. Like, I don't know if it can. So, again, stop putting blind faith into platforms, very little about on the back end. Like, what are they doing? What is their level of knowledge in crypto? And trust yourself. Take the belief that you have these platforms to give you yield, put that faith into yourself so that you can go out there and figure it out or borrow against yourself, do something. And again, this is not investment advice. This is just like, let's avoid all of these situations and never experience this again by not signing up to deal with platforms like this in self custody. So again, tatted on my chest. It's not tatted on my chest. It's a joke. Not your keys, not your crypto. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you don't have a private key for your wallet, it's not your crypto. The crypto is on the exchange or platform. In the case of Voyager and Celsius in a bankruptcy proceeding, they're legally going to say it's not even yours. You were just letting Celsius and Voyager own it, and we allowed you to access it during certain times. Look how quickly they turn. Okay, so now let's talk about Voyager. Voyager is now giving people back their UST inside of their like account, which they have to do this because remember they got in trouble for saying they had FDIC insurance, which was loosely based. It wasn't really for the customer; it's for Voyager itself. And they were even told by the FDIC to stop saying that they have FDIC insurance. So wild times. It's just like I think people again, these things are happening because these companies feel like, oh, it's not regulated, so and these people are like not very well versed into this space. Neither are we, but we're just gonna go along with it. So because of the lack of regulation, and I'm not talking about like user to is I really want to see regulation on corporate entities that have access to crypto exposure and have access to crypto deposits. That needs regulation. They're talking so much about people and how much is a 19-year-old going to do from their bedroom trading? You know what I mean? Like, but these corporations that have access to billions of crypto, have developed platforms that there's no separation of customer deposits and their net operating expenses and their accounts. I don't think that's appropriate. That's not appropriate. And that needs to be regulated. So before you worry about everyone else, you should worry about these legal entities that exist that have been causing such chaos in crypto because they're unable to separate customer deposits from, whatever they have going on or whatever loan they've issued against the consent of anyone that has an account with them. So they're agreeing to give back cash. Yesterday, the court approved our proposal to restore the access to cash held for the benefit of Voyager's customers at the Metropolitan Commercial Bank. See, no mention of FDIC, right? We know it is important to access your cash, and with this approval, we will soon begin processing cash withdrawals. They probably legally have no right or bearing as to hold the cash in the account. See, again, crypto doesn't have set regulations yet, right? It's only you shouldn't be doing that. Please don't do that. Cash, you can't do that because you weren't even operating as a bank. So in reality, they shouldn't even have the ability to have access to these funds. So I think this is saving them financially in some aspect, but they're not doing it to be nice. I think they're doing it because legally they probably were not allowed to hold the cash like that. And I think that opens them up to a second lawsuit, perhaps. So accessing your cash, we anticipate resuming access to Voyager app for cash withdrawals only starting on Thursday, August 11th. Customers with cash US dollars in their account will receive an email with more details before cash withdrawal access in the app becomes more available. We anticipate customers will receive their funds in about 5 to 10 business days after making this request. So if you do have cash in your Voyager account, you need to do this just to make sure you can hopefully get something back. We anticipate customers will receive their funds. There's a thing you need to do. They're going to email you. Sorry. They're going to email you. We anticipate customers will receive their funds in about 5 to 10 business days after making the request. The request will be processed as quickly as possible. We will require some manual review, including fraud review. Yeah, I'm concerned about. Never mind. And account reconciliation and timing depends on part upon the individual customer banks with customer transferring the cash. And again, once the cash withdrawals are enabled, customers may withdraw up to $100,000 via the app or ACH. And again, even if you choose to go against my better judgment and statements and go sign up for an app, never put more than about over $1,000 even into one platform. Like diversify. Like split it up. When I hear stories about people saying I have 500K in Voyager or Celsius, I'm like, why? Why would you feel comfortable depositing into an unregulated? They haven't, and Celsius didn't even pay its taxes for last year. Not only is it like wildly inappropriate, but it's also doing like really, really like bad things. Like if it wasn't losing everyone's money, it would have been sued. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's so many issues. But again, never put your eggs in one basket in crypto, okay? Like that could save a lot of L's. Split it up. And again, the majority of all of your assets in crypto need to be on your hard wallet or a software wallet that you feel is most secure, but they should be on a hardware wallet. Anything over 10K should be in a hardware wallet. You shouldn't be. Y'all crazy. Okay, so as a part of our efforts to maximize the value of the crypto platform, we are simultaneously pursuing a standalone restructuring process and a potential sale of the company. The court approved our bidding procedure, which will govern the sale process. Under these rules, bids are due by August 26th. So they're trying to sell the company to recoup losses, I suppose. And a sale hearing, if applicable, will be held on September 8th. The court approved Monday, October 3rd as the deadline for customers to file a claim against Voyagers, including claims for crypto holding. So you guys, make sure you follow your claim. It should be on the Voyager site. I will try to put it in the comment section or the About Me section in the video description so you guys can click onto it as well. And I'll also add this website too, the official unsecured creditor website for people as well. And I understand if you don't want to see any of this and you just want to you can just watch videos and update it. If you don't want to interact because this is too much for you, I get it. You have totally the right to be upset in this situation. I don't think enough people are upset. This shouldn't have happened. They don't have a right to loan out more than they can bear and their business is failing and they're not revealing that to people. We anticipate resuming access to the Voyager app for cash withdrawals only starting Thursday, August 11th. Customers with cash on their account will receive an email with more details before cash withdrawal access to the app becomes available. We anticipate customers to receive their funds in about 5 to 10 business days after making the request. The request will be processed as quickly as possible. It requires some manual review, including fraud reviews. I already read that. I know they copied that twice. Do I need to file a claim as a part of the overall process? Voyager is currently preparing a schedule of assets liability, which will include holdings as of July 5th. As of July 5th? The deadline for Voyager to file a schedule with the court is August 18th. Approximately 7 to 10 days after documentation is filed, Voyager account holders will receive a personalized email from Stretto containing notice of claim bar date. This email will include information about how Voyager has listed holdings in your account on the schedules. If you see discrepancies between what is listed on the proof of claim form in your account, you can file a claim in our case here. You may submit your proof of claim so it's received by 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'm very confused by this. So it says, so just file it just in case, but it says that they'll automatically do it, which is confusing, but I know people like to play in these situations, so just for, the sake of sakes, file it out. You can do it electronically by using the interface available on our notice and claim agent's website at HTTP Voyager or first class US overnight or other hand delivery system. Proof of claim must include original signature. And if you've already filed a claim, they're saying there's no need to file a claim. There is the unsecured committee that you can that represents the group, which is cool. And there's also a number. So yeah. And again, they're not being nice. I don't think they misdirected their use of FDIC insurance at the Metropolitan Bank. They did not have an FDIC insurance they had an agreement with Metropolitan Bank regarding whatever Voyager deposited on the behalf of customers, but it wasn't entirely FDIC insured in that way. They just used the notice wrong and it shouldn't have been included in advertising. So I guess they were cleared. They were cleared to return the $270 million, which is the cash deposits we just spoke of. And the cherry on top is that Mark Cuban. The cherry on top is Mark Cuban is being sued for promoting bankrupt crypto platform Voyager Digital, and this is very interesting to me because I've said this. So I've been so I don't know if you guys know. I don't really promote any projects. I don't promote any projects. I'll explain them and say I like it, but for me, my individual choices when it comes to crypto, that's my burden to bear. The things that I do with crypto and the risks that I take. That's something I personally choose to do. Right? I don't think it's fair for me to sit up on a show and be like, oh, join this platform, do this, do that, because you know what I mean? And also, maybe also it's because I'm not sponsored. or like I don't receive that many sponsors. But even with that being stated, I would walk them through the platform, but I don't have your wallet, I don't have your bank account, I don't know what you're going through. So I think it's very inappropriate for people to sit on their platforms and tell people to use a platform that they may not even use. And with that being said, don't listen to rich people who are not risk averse. They'll lose 100K to a million and figure out how to write it off in their taxes. Like, if you lose 100K or a million, you might go bankrupt. So, I had, not to speak negatively on anyone, but, I'm a part of a few different groups in the trading and investing community. And one of them I recently left because someone said that they had 100K locked in Celsius and they didn't care because they were just going to write it off. And that made me really angry because I feel like I want to be inclusive in this space, but I also don't want people to lose. I also don't want people to invest with like things that don't invest with your rent money. Don't invest with necessity money. You should have like your emergency plan. You should have your 401k set up, your Roth IRA, like your long term stock portfolio, and then you got your extra crypto. Because I don't want to see people taking their last and putting it into crypto. And that's the situation we have. A lot of people in these, they took their last and they put it into these platforms. They were living off yields. And look at the situation that they're in right now. It's like they can't access it. They're at the mercy of a government bankruptcy filing. And with a government that doesn't even know kind of what to do, they're kind of like, what is going on? I think someone said in the Voyager case, I think it was Celsius, one of the two, but one of the judges was like, I don't even know how to rule. And I'm going to talk about this in a later video. Celsius wallets are still active. If you're in a bankruptcy proceeding, your wallet should be closed. You shouldn't have access to your funds. And in another video, I'm going to talk about how Celsius is going through cash during the bankruptcy proceeding, which makes me very uncomfortable because it's like, this is about people getting their money back, and you guys are paying for all of your staff's needs at this time. I cannot, again, if we had a government that was more aware of crypto, they would have shut all of it down. Like, oh no, you guys can't keep spending money and going in and out of your crypto wallets while people who deposit in your platform are taking millions of loss, like $1 million losses. Like, that's inappropriate. That's unfair. But because we're not there yet, Alice Mazinski's wallet is still active. How does he have an active wallet when you're in the bankruptcy proceeding? Anyway, so Mark Cuban, someone's suing him for promoting Voyager. And I saw a few videos. He like even made a statement saying something like, oh, it's so hard to set up a savings account for your kid to set up a Voyager account. I was thinking like, why would you tell someone that? Like, that's a bad comparison. And he said it's very close to risk free when you're going into the crypto universe. That's not true. That's not true. I don't think it's not crypto being, it's these platforms, like they're not transparent with how they receive their yield. They were never transparent about like the barrier between customer deposits and their own cash net revenue and the separation. And I think, to me, I think that's a regulatory thing because before they were able to establish themselves as companies, there should have been barriers and requirements for non-crypto companies, but more like centralized companies that have access to crypto and crypto exposure and offer it to their customers. There seems to be no rules for them. And I think that's the biggest issue I have with a lot of this. And then it's really sad because I have people telling me, I hate crypto. I was like, this is not an episode of crypto. Everyone I know has their own wallet. A lot of people who are, what I mean, just don't. A lot of people who have been in this space, we were like, no, we don't touch that. We don't deal with things like that. Like, Voyager and Celsius ill. Like, how are they getting this yield? Because why would I put my crypto in an account to get yield when I can go loan against myself and earn, like, I can do a various amount of things and I would be in control of my funds the whole time. And I'm depositing it so you can do the same thing. And I knew that from the beginning. I just didn't have any proof. And then, like, as time went on, I started gathering it, and I was like, I hate to be right in these situations. Yeah. So I don't think so. Again, just remember who you're listening to. These type of people, Mark Cuban, he has money to burn. I'm pretty sure him losing Whatever he lost on his Voyager account is not going to hurt him. These people are not you. Mark Cuban is not your savior. Like, these people are not people you should look for financial advice. I'm sorry, they're not. You can look up to them for their growth paths to see how like they got started and like some of the cool things that they did, but they're not financial people you should look up to financially because they didn't acquire wealth the same way you did. You know what I mean? Like, you can look at their growth pattern. You can be like, he did this. Maybe I could do it that way. But I wouldn't take strategic financial advice from a celebrity who's getting paid to tell you to do something. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this man probably was. So, what is his incentive? His incentive is to get as much people to sign up from proof of him being an influencer, like a crypto influencer, right? Because the more people sign up after he makes his announcements, correlates to whatever he's paid, which correlates to a lot of celebrities who are in this industry, pumping these platforms when they go down. They're like, oh no, no, they're like, oh, I didn't know. I mean, which could be true. He may not have known, but he didn't care to find out. Most likely, and this is not just on Mark. Well, he did it excessively. The comments he made were like very much so like, okay, calm down. This is every celebrity that's like wildly promoting a project without any regards. You have to realize people who may have less money. These type of things. These give hope. These give 7% interest, 10% interest. You can negate that. Like, you can work around that. That can be a source of income. And start getting around the 5, the 6, the 7, 8, the 10. So when you tell people about these things, they're gonna go do it. They're gonna go fox with it because and some cultures, all we have is worked income. This whole passive asset thing is news to a lot of people. So when they hear it, they're like, "What? Okay, throwing bags in it." But you got to remember, it has to come from a source, and if that source is not negating risk, you are the liquidity. Okay, so sign your claim form. Look out for your email. If you have cash, get your cash out. File it. Like, claim it. Make sure you get your stuff out. You don't have cash, you got your crypto, you're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer for the trial to pass. I think it seems like they're looking for a buyer before they can make any commitment. And I'm sorry for anyone going through the situation right now. And this is not what people who are into crypto have ever encouraged. We have never trusted companies who and honestly, from like the conversations between Alex and since she's the CEO of Celsius, I don't know if these people like know what they're doing in crypto. Like, in one interview, Alex was like, "Bitcoin earns yield," and we are like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" And he misspoke. He meant to say, "Oh, I'm trading Bitcoin. I'm trading all the Bitcoin you deposit and giving you interest." But he said Bitcoin earns yield, which proves like they low key like basically hand the crypto over to other people and let them degenerately trade with it. And this is why we're in the situation that we're in. Voyager situation is a bit different, but you know, but again, I think culturally we learned a lesson. Hopefully in the future we avoid it. And I think for some people it's probably their last stand with crypto. I understand that, but I really think it's just something you can learn from. You shouldn't be putting your money in places that do not have your best interests at heart. Um, okay, well, I hope this video was a good update video, and please talk about. Okay, so if this video is a good update video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.